Hi, I don't have any fancy tutorial making skills, so you're just gonna get this video. Okay, so we're gonna start by making our masks, and we have our earpieces. For adults, I've been cutting them to 8.5 inches and then putting a double knot on each end. I just like to have those ready. For our fabric, we put the soft side of the flannel against the face, the part that's gonna be visible, and then the filter. These two have to be face to face because otherwise when you turn it inside out it's not going to be right. I like to start about 2 or 3 inches away from the corner, and then we're going to sew to this corner and stop, drop our needle so we can put our earpiece in. Don't forget to put him in. Once the edge of the earpiece is in, I like to make sure he's over out of the way so we don't accidentally sew him in the seam. And lift your foot, make sure your needle's down, lift your foot and turn, and we'll come straight down the side. Okay, and then when you're about an inch, half inch away from the corner, don't forget to stop. You want to drop your needle and lift your foot and put your edge back in. And then always remember, start on your bottom so that way your top is nice and one seam. Don't forget to stop to do your other ear. Make sure your elastic's tucked in. Make sure your foot's down. Get your earpiece. And then if you have any extra fabric, because sometimes you do on the flannel, I like to push it to here so this is nice and flat. It's easier to put back together. And then back stitch to close that off. And then now we have to trim our excess. There isn't too much on this one. Sometimes you'll get a lot. I think it really helps if you trim before just to make sure they fit good. And then you turn it. And then after you turn it, I like to pull on these and make sure they're snug. And then it pulls those corners out. Ta-da! So we need to add our wire. I make it just a little bit smaller than the mask. Curl our ends under so it doesn't poke through. And then put it in and make sure it's along the top. And once you get it up to the top, I like to put those 2 pins in because otherwise it will move around while you're sewing. And you'll have to take these out before you sew because they're going the wrong direction. They're just to hold it there until you're ready for it. So now we close our bottom close your bottom. And then we're going to fold it. And if you can get the folds like right where the folds on the filter is, that's nice, but that doesn't always happen. So I found it's best if you fold one side and then take it all the way across and do the other, and then usually I get 3 of them in there. This is actually a child's mask, so it seems a little bit smaller. Even though it'd be kind of awesome to do a really like big ass grown man's Gryffindor mask. Putting the folds in is what makes it not so big by the ears and kind of puff out to make room for your nose and stuff. So now we're gonna sew. I usually start in this corner and go down. It's kind of thick because of the folds. I actually use this to kind of pull, and you gotta push. Your feet on your machine will grip a little bit better. And then make sure these folds get tucked under, otherwise it'll like be crunched up. Then when you get to the bottom, you put your needle down and turn. And I usually pull these out as soon as I can, because it makes it just less of a safety hazard. Make sure your foot's down. Sew your bottom. And then we're going to turn. We can get these needles out. And the same thing here, you got to kind of watch and make sure those don't get jumbled up. And if you have to, you can always lift that foot and straighten out the top too. So when you get to the top, I can feel that wire's moved a little bit. So then you just need to make sure he's up there. And I like to try to keep him at the edge of the foot. And kind of fill him in there. Do your back stitch and trim your threads, and you've got a mask. Is that pretty good, baby? Hi.